with us.
All right, thank you. I'm David Nedohin with ScopeAR. Thanks for all being here. At ScopeAR, we build augmented reality solutions primarily for industrial applications. So we've had an opportunity to work with a number of clients over the last few years in various industries, from oil and gas and mining, military, automotive, manufacturing, and aerospace. And through working with these clients, we've learned a lot about the process and what they're looking for. And the primary focus of our solutions up until this point has really been around training and maintenance. So what I want to share with you is sort of the process and the 3 levels of training and education that we've focused on with these industrial clients. So we've broken it down into, as I mentioned, 3 distinct kind of areas. And the first is a classroom environment. So in the classroom environment, we've been working with some large clients in aerospace and automotive in particular on looking at how they can improve their classroom training through augmented reality. So instead of the students sitting in a classroom and everybody going through their instruction manuals and page by page, and the instructor at the front trying to make sure that the students are on the right spot, that they're learning the task at hand, they're now empowered with the ability to utilize a tablet to control and communicate with the students. So it's a standalone mode. The instructor's at the front with his tablet going through a step-by-step process. He can engage in cross-sections, fluid flows, animations, and really take the student through that paper manual in an augmented view. So and he ensures that the students are watching it by making sure that it's in a locked mode, so all the students are seeing exactly what the instructor wants them to see. When the instructor wants to allow the students to engage on their own, he simply unlocks it, and he can then monitor device by device actually what the students are seeing. So we're finding this to be a really engaging way for the instructor and the students alike. Students are coming to classrooms, they're very familiar with devices. Nobody has flip phones anymore. Everybody knows what tablets are and how to utilize them, or smartphones. So it's a really engaging way for the students to be able to learn and interact with the instructor. The second step of that is the students now have the basic principles they've learned in the classroom, and you want to go to a to an actual hands-on environment. So we call it assisted activity. And really that's in a controlled environment where the students can now go out to a warehouse or a shop setting. They've got the equipment in front of them, and they can go through the same process as opposed to a standalone mode where everything's animated and 3D modeled. They're now overlaying the animations and the content right on top of the actual object. So I'm actually going to play a video. And if you've been to our website, you would have seen this video actually, but I'll play through it anyways. Oh, excuse me. So in this case, what we're showing is an animated view of somebody having glasses on and what the step-by-step process would look like in the assisted activity. Now we're going to the actual environment, and this is being recorded through a set of AR glasses, actually Epson BT1s as it is. And you can see that the person is now going through exactly what they learned in the classroom. So the first step was to look at the pump, take the bolts out. The student can actually complete that task. Second step was to take the calipers, measure the drive shaft diameter, hold it up to the camera, take a photo of it, and build in accountability. So training can occur in a number of different ways. I mean, in that case, it was step-by-step procedure. This is another example of using that same assisted activity and teaching somebody the process of setting up a home stereo system. So it could be a complex electrical panel, could be a home stereo, could be something where there's a lot of connections. And that's what we're hearing a lot from utility companies. How do we make sure that our employees are trained properly to work on specific types of equipment that we have, obviously, that they're working with. In some cases, somebody will be out in an environment where, it's something they don't work on commonly. They may have learned a long time ago, so assisted activity can make sure that they learn the proper way that time. This is actually a fuse box from a Kenworth truck, and we want to actually, in this case, we're showcasing how you find out or find a burnt out fuse. So if something goes wrong in the vehicle, the application asks you a few simple questions by answering whether it's interior or exterior, is it a control or a light or something else. It can navigate you to the right spot in the fuse box and show you exactly how to replace that fuse. So it's teaching you the proper process. You're not necessarily pulling out an instruction manual and flipping page by page through it, trying to decipher codes. You simply answer some questions and you get to that point. So those are examples of assisted activity. Sorry. That didn't work. All right. So the third method of training and education is what we call remote support. So they've gone from the classroom environment to a controlled environment where they're actually working on the actual equipment to now being out in the field and actually working on it. And even though you've gone through the training, you want to make sure that somebody is still supported and they're learning every time they go out there. So we actually launched today, which we're really excited about, Remote AR. And Remote AR, as you can see from the diagram in its simplest form, is the ability to send a video signal from the employee's device to an expert who's located at a different location. And the expert in real time can then provide guidance and training support through augmented reality back on top of the video layer to the technician in the field that's locked onto the actual object. So we actually have another video that I will play for you. For those of you who weren't there this morning to see our big press release. And just one moment.
Every day, across all major industries, more and more sophisticated machines are entering the workplace. The responsibility for maintaining and troubleshooting this equipment falls to specialists, and there are never enough of them to go around. The same story plays out again and again. The pressure's on, things go wrong, and the expert is not around. Your organization has the knowledge, but it's not where you need it. Remote AR is a mobile connectivity solution designed specifically for expert support, with a complete set of features allowing off-site experience to be delivered directly to the pain point through whoever is on site.
Hey Keith, what's up?
Hey Rick, I've got a problem with my inputs here, and we go live in 20 minutes.
Give me a closer look at this. Okay, let's start with the easy fix. Go around to the back of the rack. Second cabinet from the right there.
You mean this one?
Yep, that's it. Okay, you're gonna have a loose RJ45 that needs to go in the main input. Like this.
Oh, yeah, got it.
Check the screens now.
Yeah, no good.
Okay, you need to find the router on your left, low down, close to the floor.
Got it.
Take off the front panel like this. Okay, I need you to power down in this order. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's one output card that gave us a hard time before. I need you to reseat it. I'm going to feed you the card identifiers and take out the input cards. They're not your problem. And the one you need is this one. Make sure you release those locks here, and it should come right out.
Okay, now what?
Just give me a look at it. Hold it still. Okay, it looks fine. Slide it back in nice and tight and the locks will click. Good.
Okay, so power up.
Yep, let's see what we've got.
And we're up and running. Thanks, Rick.
No problem, Keith.
Remote AR. Put your knowledge where you need it.
Oops. So that's an example of remote AR in practice. Basically, it's taking the view of the technician, providing it to the expert, and allowing him to support it. In that case, we showed 2 tablets being used. We are hardware agnostic, so we can deploy onto glasses as well as tablets and different operating systems. Really, it doesn't matter the device. What we're doing is providing an ability for the expert to engage with the technician. And he can do so in various ways. He can add 3D rich content and animations. If that's not possible, he doesn't have that for the equipment or the device he's working on, he can offer simple education or simple instructional tools like drawing, highlighting, and arrows. And what's really important about that is it makes it deployable to an organization at large scale today. So that's remote AR. In summary, we've broken it down into 3 different steps. Obviously, the first is classroom training. The second is taking that theory in the classroom, taking it out to a controlled environment, and allowing the students to actually work on the real equipment. And then the third level is taking it out into the field and continue to support the technicians and the employees with training from an expert. I'm David Nedohin. That's Scope AR with our newly launched product, Remote AR today.
Great. So questions for David?
With remote AR, do you have any kind of image recognition that could almost test the ability of somebody doing an install? Is there anything that they could use with a wearable to say, yes, you succeeded in installing X machine without a user being there to verify?
No, not really. The capabilities of the object recognition to identify if it's something small that you've actually done, it's not possible yet. I mean, that will be something down the road for sure. We sort of address that in a few different ways, and right now the most common way is just through an identification and verification process with the employee. So did you connect this properly in this way and show the animation again and force the employee to click yes or no? If there was some sort of conductivity that came through it, electrical signal or something like that you could actually measure, then that is possible, but not through object recognition or image recognition.
Do you have the ability to, when the expert is showing something or drawing something, how do you know whether it's the 3D, the depth, or how do you know where he draws where he puts the arrow or where he puts the drawing?
Well, I think there's a couple ways to answer that. Scott, did you want to jump in terms of the depth perception of that?
Yeah, so we actually use a couple toolkits. If one easy use case, we've got before A markers that it's just magnetic and attached to the device, and then we have the 2D plane for the markers. Or we can use markerless, where we get actually a point cloud, and based on that point cloud, we can put the stuff there. And then we've got ways where you can rotate the scene and then change the depth that way.
Hey, one last question right here.
I'm curious why these are 2 different products and not one combined one.
Which 2 is that?
Well, the step-by-step training guide, which is standalone, you use it on your own, and when you run into a wicked problem that you can't solve with the standard procedures already on the system, then you connect to the expert with Remote AR. Why are these 2 separate products?
Well, they're not really standalone. They are actually tied together very closely. They're built on the same platform and the same technology. I think there's just scalability today and use applications. In a lot of cases, an organization may not have all the 3D models and the step-by-step procedure built out for every piece of equipment they have. So it's not, I guess it wouldn't be expected that you'd be able to go into the field, look at some sort of piece of equipment and know that every time you're going to have that step-by-step procedure. So Remote AR provides the ability to deploy it today and support the technician through basic instructional tools. But like you said, I mean, they are tied closely together in that if that AR sequence is there and the technician runs into some sort of challenge, maybe it's a new circumstance, maybe a slightly different model of equipment, he can certainly then dial into the expert to support him through that process. There is, yes, there is recording. So accountability is a big part of that through photos and recording.
Awesome, great. Thank you, David.
Okay, thank you.